Welcome to another edition of Tea Talks. On this Tea Talk, we're going to just kind of take our time and ease into a gentle meditation with the sounds of ocean meds, a little effects kind of meditation, medi-mix. This evening I am sipping on one of what they call the three daughters of oolong, Sujuan. So we're just going to take it easy. Going to take a couple of deep breaths, deep inhales. We're just going to continue to move the breath. Going to take in some fresh air, move out the stagnation. We're just going to take our time with it. Just kind of ease into these ocean meds and have our tea talk and wind down from this Monday. What a Monday it has been. The last couple of days, really. As we move forward into the days of the week that carry us through, it's important to take a moment and look at the day. How was your day? How was my day? How was anyone's day today? Folks rolling out big plans and big ideas about this and that. Yet who's paying? How's the state of affairs in your home, your relationship? Let's go there. Relationships. So, a childhood friend from back in high school posted on the social webs this post about you're single if and regardless if you live together, you're tatted with names, you cohabitate. You're only married if you've signed paperwork, if you've legally gone down and documented. So I'm curious and just wondering if folks around the globe really agree with that. Is it true, or do you see it as you're single if you've been living with the same person for the last 10, 15 years? Or is it that you've had children and you're together and you may call each other wifey and hubby, but you may not have signed any paperwork outside of those birth certificates. Are you then in fact married or not? Is single single and married married? In my books, yes. And that could just be my own, because I've cohabitated and I have children. However, I have not been married. Period. Funny enough, when I lived in Texas, I remember being threatened by a young man that he was going to move into my home because Texas is a common law state, and we would then in fact be married. And then another cat, all I need is a toothbrush, and then in fact we are married. Say, bruh, we are not in fact married unless we are in fact married. Now, married, in my opinion, doesn't necessarily mean we had to, go have some big old blowout shindig and be married. But I would like some documentation if in fact that day should come that I would be married. For history's sake, for her story's sake, for our story's sake. The children, should they be a product of the union? Documentation. I think there should be some notation that she with he and them begat these children from this union. This is their legacy. I don't know. I've never been married. I've actually mostly been scared of the whole thing because my parents have been for 40 plus years. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Not the time, just the situation. Anyway, so that's that. Single, married. If it so moves you, hit me up. I'd like to know. What are folks' thoughts out there in the stratosphere on single and married? Moving right along. So this tea that I'm having, it's an oolong sibling, an oolong child. And she's mild. Like I said, one of the 3 daughters. And she's mild. So I will be sipping this throughout the evening, and we'll just chat. We'll go on through. So because I do like to discuss meditation and kind of some meditative movements and breath work, we'll read a little bit more on Osho. If you've been with me before, I periodically like to visit with the brother Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, also known as Osho. I find what he has transmitted to resonate with my soul, and I find myself reaching back to his words quite often because I feel like he had lived in a space that was very receptive to what the Creator, just wanted to transmit to him. It was very, very insightful when it came to meditation and thought processes and managing the mind and letting go of the mind itself. Just be. Just feel. And I really feel like it's important to allow ourselves to feel. There's quite a bit of numbness that has taken over, especially in your major metropolises where most are connected to their devices. Most are tuned in to what's happening through a fishbowl kind of look at the world, but it's a global fishbowl, with a magnifying glass attached as well. And I feel like because we're not having that human interaction, we're not next to each other touching and feeling, but we're seeing so much more. It has numbed us. And I mean numb from the youngest to the eldest and in between. The lack of certain feelings, yet a lack of compassion to some degree as well, because there's no real interaction with, or not no, but limited interaction these days with real folks. Just very internet bound. Being next to a person has a certain quality, je ne sais quoi, as they used to say. And I guess the French probably still do. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't even think je ne sais quoi is actually French. But anyway, but there's a certain niceness about being next to a human, a living, breathing human, that can feel your pulse, your heartbeat, your breath on the back of the neck. Fingers as you hold hands, soft embrace as one hugs. Now it's a like, smiley face, heart in the eyes. I'm blowing kisses with a half wink, kisses with both eyes closed. I'm blushing. But no real human interaction. Man, I loved my day. Although it was tough growing up in LA in the 90s. Man, we used to vibe. We vibed hard and good, and we were passionate about this life, passionate about how we did things, good, bad, ugly, passionate about how we hit the pavement, how we lived, how we rode, how we ride. Thumbs up, smiley emoji. Bhagwan, Sri Rajneesh. And that oolong. So, entering the gap, the mystery of meditation, we will venture into again for this tea talk. When mind is the master, a non-meditative state exists. When you are the master, your consciousness is the master. A meditative state exists. So meditation means becoming a master of mechanism of the mind. Mind and the linguistic functioning of the mind is not the ultimate. You are beyond it. Existence is beyond it. Consciousness is beyond linguistics. Existence is beyond linguistics. When consciousness and existence are one, they are in communion. This communion is meditation. Language must be dropped. I don't mean that you have to suppress it or eliminate it. I only mean that it does not have to be a 24-hour-a-day habit for you. When you walk, you need to move your legs. But if they go on moving while you are sitting, then you are mad. You must be able to turn them off in the same way when you are not talking with anyone. Language must not be there. It is a technique to communicate. When you are not communicating with anybody, it should not be there. If you are able to do this, you can grow into meditation. Meditation is growing. Meditation is a growing process, not a technique. A technique is always dead, so it can be added to you. But a process is always alive. It grows. It expands. Language is needed, but you must not always remain in it. Got it? I'll say it again. Language is needed, but you must not always remain in it. There must be moments when there is no verbalizing, when you just exist. No, it's not that you're just vegetating. Consciousness is there, and it is more acute, more alive, because language dulls it. Language is bound to be repetitive, so it creates boredom. The more important language is to you, the more bored you will be. Existence is never repetitive. Every rose is a new rose, altogether new. It has never been, and it will never be again. But when we call it a rose, the word rose is a repetition. It has always been there. It will always be there. You have killed the new with an old word. Osho says existence is always young, and language is always old. Through language, you escape existence. You escape life, because language is dead. The more involved you are with language, the more deadened you will be by it. A pundit is completely dead because he is nothing but language, words. So, it's interesting when you kind of think about meditation and this coined term, mindfulness. It's filling the mind. Bhagwan Osho speaks of releasing the mind, freeing it from verbalization, from linguistics. And for me, that is the practice with meditating. Yoga, my love, my everything, And challenging as it is, meditation is that much more of a challenge. Because when one goes to sit in meditation, when pardon me. So as when one goes to sit into meditation as opposed to moving in meditation, we have a tendency to kind of start thinking about this and that, letting what we've been carrying around with us all day kind of make its way in. And sometimes we're sorting bills, we're sitting there and thinking about that laundry list, the grocery list. Oh, and I gotta get home. See, I'm breathing, but oh man, I gotta get home. I gotta make that. I gotta do that. No, the key in meditation is quieting the mind. It's really allowing the self to be present, really allowing the self to feel the moment, to just sit and focus on the breath. And that's what I want you to think about, is meditation something that you would like to do, but you're not really sure how to get into that space? This particular tea talk, we're just going to discuss moving into a space of healing through meditation. So if you're staying with me for any length of time, you can always revisit it. It is a podcast. But stay with me and we'll kind of just discuss and share and kind of go into some steps to prepare ourselves to move into a state of meditation. So when I'm able, I like to be in a clean space. Light some candles, utilize aromatherapy. Just kind of make this space clean and sacred for a proper meditation session. Inviting. Cleanliness is important because meditation is a way of cleaning our house. Our house, our being, our temple. A purification of the temple. That's what meditation is. So many scientific studies have been done to show how meditation increases brain activity. It heals the organs, it flushes the system, strengthens the mind. Meditation is a way to center, to find balance, to quiet the chatter. That place in meditation it's our moment to receive. It's our moment to receive the messages that are for us from the ethereal realms. So when you're preparing your space, make that space comfortable, free of clutter, debris. Set time to put away all your tasks for the day. Close up shop. Prepare yourself in comfortable clothing. Have a blanket or a wrap near in case you become chilled. Set the space, a clean healing space, a welcoming space. Ambient music or complete silence. And tune into the sounds of your surroundings. And most importantly, you want to breathe. Now there's several ways that people find themselves seated or postured in meditation. That could be in lotus, easy pose, crisscross applesauce, as my daughters say. Shavasana works too. For ones familiar with Yoga Nidra, you can posture yourself in a traditional Yoga Nidra setup. Bolsters along the back, so you're slightly elevated. Kind of draped back. And breathe. And as you're taking those deep, long inhales, you hold for a count of 4 or 6, and releasing back out. Flattening the belly, inhaling in. You want to take in freshness and push out stagnance, push out hardship, push out the struggles of the day, push the breath out, and let it carry out Let it carry the ick, the gunk, the annoyances, the irritations, the bothersome, the woes. Let them go. Easier said than done, I know. Put them over there, don't think about them. Now is your time. This is your you. Your silent moment. Your moment for Jah to speak to you. A moment to take in that healing energy, that elixir of life. It's electric. And let the vibrations come over your nerve system and heal it, charge it. Let it feed your soul. And breathe. If you're seated in a lotus, and you're upright, you can use your back of your couch or bench, or if you have meditation chairs to prop your back. Give you a little support. Meditation takes strength. Allow your head to relax. Level your head. Remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth and relax. Inhale. And breathe. Just let go. It's learning to let go. To not think about it anymore. It's gone. It's over there. You've lived through it. You survived to live today, this day. Relax in that. If it aches, if it hurts, if you miss, suffering from pain, breathe deeply through it. Allow yourself to smell the environment, the aromas. Relax the third eye. smell. There's a tendency in Western culture and the inhales and the exhales of it all to just breathe up, breathe down, breathe up. And we're squinching at center and at third eye, and those lines are there and they're bunched up, and it's a roadblock. And you're creating stress and you're creating tension. To check and see where you're at. Smell the environment. Smell. You want to smell, it's gentle. It's a healing. This is your time to love upon yourself. In the quiet, in the solitude. I said if you're chilly, grab that wrap or that blanket. Wrap it around you. Allow yourself to be warmed. A gentle embrace. It is a practice to meditate, to allow ourselves the moment to heal in a place of presence. Just be present and feel. Let your body speak to you. Just feel. Tell your mind it can wait. Meditation means that language must not be there, but you must be conscious. Otherwise, there is no communion with existence, with all that is. No mantra can help. No chanting can help. Auto-hypnosis is not meditation. Osho says, drop all mantras, drop all these techniques. Allow moments to exist where words are not there. You cannot get rid of words with a mantra because the very process uses words. You cannot eliminate language with words. It is impossible. So what is to be done? In fact, you cannot do anything at all except to understand. Whatever you are able to do can only come from where you are. You are confused. You are not in meditation. Your mind is not silent. So anything that comes out of you will only create more confusion. All that can be done right now is to begin to be aware of how the mind functions. That's all. Just be aware. Awareness has nothing to do with words. It is an existential act, not a mental act. So the first thing is to be aware. Be aware of your mental processes, how your mind works. The moment you become aware of the functioning of your mind, you are not the mind. The very awareness means that you are beyond, aloof, a witness. And the more aware you become, the more you will be able to see the gaps between the experience and the words. Gaps are there, but you are so unaware that they're never seen. Between two words, there is always a gap, however imperceptible, however small. Otherwise, the two words cannot remain two. They will become one. Between two notes of music, there is always a gap, a silence. Two words or two notes cannot be two unless there is an interval between them. A silence is always there, but one has to be really aware, really attentive to feel it. The more aware you become, the slower the mind becomes. It is always relative. The less aware you are, the faster the mind is. And the more aware you are, the slower the process of the mind is. When you are more aware of the mind slows down and the gaps between thoughts widen. Then you can see them. Bhagwan. Become aware. And breathe. I give thanks for you taking this time with me as we begin to practice awareness in our meditation. And experience this existence. This is how we vibrate higher. Blessed love and light. I give thanks for you sharing this journey this tea talk, this meditation. With the ocean meds. Full joy the journey. Till next time.